I'm here at my mother's. These clothes here, Marion had just piled up on the bedroom in there. That used to be my bedroom. I'm trying to clean up a little bit because I just can't. You understand, my mother is sick. My mother, even when she's not so sick, will not want to clean. This is what how Marion left the top shelf of the refrigerator. My mom's never going to try to clean that. I'm here. I'm going to do it. I crashed on her couch, just in sheer, And Marion did clean the refrigerator, but not, completely. And the thing is, if she didn't want to do it, I can understand. She could hire somebody. They have so much money. I found out that she didn't turn the electricity off, though. That way she didn't have to throw anything away. She didn't have to really clean or whatnot, It's all old crap. My mom should just, I'm going to do it for her. She won't do it. I'm going to throw it away. Old soup she made, she doesn't want to eat that anyway. It could make her sick. But look at how Mary left this top shelf of the refrigerator. Something I would have never known, except I wound up here. It's, it's just... That's sick. Why would Marion do that? Have my mom come home 3.5 months later to that. My mom's like, I can't get it off, Lord Jesus. She's not going to do it. I found it over here. And you know what will happen? It's going to attract bugs. So, I'm getting really, it's getting old, this. Instead of having something good happen, I have to comfort myself, well, things could have been worse. Yeah, things could have been worse. After that landlord, concocted that bullshit story that was not the least bit true about me. And the 4 caps came and interrogated and harassed me for an hour. Meanwhile, I had been told by online lawyers that no matter what, that landlord had to go through the courts. Didn't matter. But that was when I thought there was no lease. And then, Wednesday, as the last, I got that letter from the constable that states my roommate had a lease with his former wife when they were living there, and my landlord's lawyer says, well, that lease is still binding even though it ended because she moved out, but in the end, Bobby, my ex-roommate, could not pay the rent. And he owed the landlord money, but then the landlord was lying in that letter saying the maid's rent wasn't paid, and I called Bobby immediately and said, no, I have to cancel a check. It was paid, Laura. So if the landlord would lie about that, why would a judge think he's not lying about everything else? Oh, because I was, quote, crazy, unquote, in the past. That's why, Laura. That's why this landlord can concoct all this crap. Even my mother, who's not well herself, read that. She's like, it sounds like a lie. He's just coming up with stuff. I was spying on his daughter while she's nursing her infant. I'm a stalker and harasser and all this crap. It's all lies. It's all lies. So, Marion lies too. I didn't get drunk last night. Marion knows I'm here. My mom told her the truth. Marion called, and because Marion came over and saw Omar, and then she looked to make sure I wasn't here, and my mom just told her the truth. Laura's coming with her stuff. She was thrown out or whatever, and Marion didn't want to hear it because Marion hates me, and she only wants to believe the lie anyway. And she's still fucking. Oops. That's a different lamp because I don't know. She's still fucking with my mom's head. My mom says to me, Marion says that she was in Mexico for a week and you left the crock pot on for a week. I said, Mom, you already know Marion's lying through her teeth. Marion returned from Mexico 1 day after you were sectioned, okay? 1 day. And I damn well there was no crock pot left on because I'm the one who was making sure your house didn't burn down. I was obsessively making sure the stove was off and the crock pot was off and unplugged and everything. She's lying. And Cheryl and your social worker were over here, okay? and I was, and the cops came again, and I had to take you, she wouldn't go, and we were, believe me, we would have noticed if the fucking crock pot was on. Besides the fact that I got texts from Marion, so it couldn't possibly have been a week, because she came on Friday, and on Sunday was the text, "You're a pathetic excuse for a person loser," when she found out that the house was, she just fucks with my mom's head. Lies. Just like the landlord and his family, telling lies. And to be fair to his family, since the landlord concocted that whole thing, and you don't even know if he told his family he wrote it. You know what I mean? But in the end, it's just bullshit. I've been told anyway, no lawyer will take this case on a contingency basis, and I sure saw on thousands of dollars, The online lawyers were like, well, nobody's going to really be able to help you unless you stay there. I cannot stay there. I'm afraid to be here. You understand? Every noise makes me jump. I take a shower and wonder if the police are going to come knocking on my door while I'm butt-ass naked, It was horrible. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, and Marion lies through her teeth about me, and the landlord lies through his teeth about me. Nobody cares. The movers yesterday, or today, actually it's not midnight yet, I think. The movers today were nice. They were really nice. I went pee-pee right minutes before we left, and they were only there because I helped them. I wanted to get the fuck out of that place. Everything that I could lift, even though it was a flat rate, it was a flat rate of $325. So even if everything went upstairs, they would have had to carry everything up from upstairs to downstairs, and it would have taken longer. But I brought everything downstairs that I could lift. So I helped bring it out to the truck. I helped whatever I could do it. I helped. And I didn't wind up drinking. I had my whole pint of Stagway vodka that I put in some lemon juice, and I had a few sips of it, that's all. But I downed my protein with all that milk, a shitload of milk, and I guess I'm older now, and I don't have the best bladder in the world because, God, I peed while they were there, and they were there like an hour, and then I peed right before we were leaving, but then it took a long time. We hit traffic. Well, I wound up having to pee in the woods on the side of the road. I gave him $50 extra. I couldn't hold it any longer. If we had got here in the right time and we didn't hit all that traffic, I would have made it fine. And it wasn't because I was drinking or something, because I hadn't drank enough. I only had a couple sips. It was the milk. It was the water. I had downed water and milk, and it just, I couldn't hold it. It reminded me of my college days, except your college days, you don't have to pull down your pants I couldn't go deep into the woods. As it is, look what I did to myself. Look at that. Because I started to go a little bit, and I'm like, my God, I'm too close to the road. Can you imagine if a cop comes by? Can you imagine if the final insult, the final thing to this unforgettable, just unfathomable ordeal and trauma and whatnot was me being arrested for radiation exposure? I had to stop and pee, or I would have peed in my pants in their car. The thing is, it's one of those where I had to go, and then I could hold it but then we still had about 15 minutes, and I told them, I'm like, I have to pee. I said, we have to stop at the next thing. I said, you stop at the next thing, because, they're on a time thing. They can't just be stopping for me. Why not $50 extra for you? 50. I'm sure they would have done it for nothing. They were super nice. But I don't care. I don't ever ask for anything for free. You know what I mean? I offer. That's why when I wanted to take Angel, I told my roommate I'd pay him an extra $100 a month, and he wouldn't accept it. The landlord in the end is saying, you have a dog. He's not supposed to have a dog. He was going to let me have another dog. he told me you were cool as shit. And when he started pulling your shit, he said, yeah, he's usually not like this. He must want to, me out of here, us out of here because he wants to move family members in. Yeah, then be upfront about it. Be a man. Give us notice on the May 1st, and I wouldn't have been in this situation. That's all. I've had a month to look for a place instead of 8 days. I'm gonna scrub that. Marion wouldn't care. She doesn't care if my mom lives in filth. My mom can't do this on her own. Can't care this place. Marion doesn't care. Just the fact that she left the fucking mayonnaise covered shelf. You think my mom will ever clean that? She won't. I pointed it out, and she couldn't even get the shelf off. I'm like, if she would have just left that, I might have visited a year from now, and that mayonnaise would have still been dried on that shelf. I'm serious. Because Marion doesn't care. Marion has the control over my mom, and Marion gets everything because of that control, and I get nothing. And Marion will let my mom live in filth and not care, even though she could hire a housekeeper without it even doing any kind of significant damage to all that money. I'm sickened. I believe now, honestly, this world, I believe the universe itself wants me to go mad, and it's pissed off that I don't. That I don't just, learned helplessness. That I don't just give up. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe when I dropped Omer off here, and I'm looking, I'm like, Marion didn't clean your refrigerator. Well, she said she did. It was worse. I know it was worse. Even the dishwasher. The dishwasher might not even work in the end. The plumber came that Saturday. The plumber. My mom had called the plumber, and I didn't know. I was getting out the door. My Bobby was on his way to come get me, and the plumber came, and I know him, and I said, my mom was sectioned yesterday. He's like, oh, she called me about the dishwasher. I'm like, I don't know anything about that. Mary didn't clean this either. My mom hasn't used this dishwasher. I don't even know if the dishwasher's going to work correctly. It doesn't get stuff clean. Marion did a half-assed job of cleaning. And the thing is, she could have hired somebody. And you know what? It would be just a little, I don't know, kind of like that woman in Silence of the Lambs who wants to hold on to the little doggy. If I could just find my jewelry. If I could just have my fucking jewelry that I left behind that was beautiful sterling silver earrings and necklace that I loved, that my mom bought me for Christmas. That, at Christmas time you get a huge discount on sterling silver, And I bought earrings at the Indian reservation place with Joe, and those, no, are they sterling silver? No, but they're special because they're from an Indian reservation place, and they were a special stone, and they were hyperallergenic, and I love those too, and they're gone. And then my mom was like, well, Marion probably took all, and then I bought my mom at Christmas beautiful sterling silver earrings, okay? And Marion probably took them, but you're always telling me Marion has plenty of money. Why would she take them, Mom, Marion's telling my mother that I left the goddamn crock pot, that Marion didn't come back here for a week. She just fucks with her mom's mind. That's what she does, okay? Just like that landlord concocting all that bullshit. Even my mother was not in a right frame of mind, I'm sure, ever, on that all the medication. But whatever, she's like, that's ridiculous. It just sounds like he's making stuff up as he goes along. That you were peering in his windows, that you were doing this. I didn't do what he said I did Thursday night either. That I was pounding on the common wall, and I didn't do anything. When he just decided to do that, I had just Arrived home from walking Omar. I was about to make my smoothie. He starts pounding on that hallway door that connects the two apartments in that house that's divided. Hey, you okay? I heard screaming. I'm like, what? I didn't scream. And I thought maybe, I didn't even have the TV on, didn't have music on, nothing. Maybe he's just thought he's heard something in his own house or whatnot. No, he was planning to fuck me over. He's like, hey, you heard? I heard screaming. You okay in there? I'm like, yeah, I wasn't screaming. Okay, I'll call somebody. Hold on. Just, And then the back porch where the laundry room was, where the washer and dryer was, he pounds on that door. I didn't open it. We can talk right through the door, but we didn't have to because he did this on purpose so I could see what he was doing. He picks up his phone. He had his phone in his hand. He might have even had them on there when he was pretending to hear me screaming, so he can make it just dramatic, acting. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. She's in there threatening to kill herself and her dog. You better get over here now. Oh, my God. I had minutes. He did it on purpose because he thought that would freak me out. I'd be freaked out when the cops arrived because I knew the cops were going to arrive, okay? Of course they are. He called 911. He made a phony, bogus 911 call. I had minutes. When they arrived, but I ran upstairs and told you guys instantly what had happened. Okay, I made that video instantly. I had minutes. And then I ran downstairs and let the cops in, and the first words out of my mouth was, I was not threatening to kill myself and Omar. And they're like, did we say you were doing that? Blah, blah, blah. But he just called you in front of me to frazzle. And then an hour. How I know it was an hour, because at one point when I said, they're harassing me and everything, I wanted to tell them how this happened, where the landlord wouldn't give Bobby and me, to the end of the June, wanted me, so, but just within the next couple weeks or less or whatever, and the asshole cop, when I said, you want to know what happened? He's like, 45 minutes here, now you're going to tell us what happened? He's a fucking prick. Because remember, they believe, the landlord, that I'm just a trespasser, that I have no rights whatsoever, that I'm pure scum, just like the landlord, and, And by the way, I never said 2 words to his family members, nothing. Never even met his wife. I met him. No, I did. I think I had talked to his daughter before, just, but nothing made, but these 12-year daughters. I think about Omar or whatnot, I don't know. Or that might have been the day I met him, but, because in the winter, whatever. The winter was freezing. You just take Omar out quickly and go back inside and whatnot. Bobby said his landlord knew he was getting a roommate. Bobby couldn't afford the rent. In the end, can I prove that the landlord knew that and the cops like, he thought you were his girlfriend, and then when he came out, I thought you were his niece, or whatever. I was completely misled, deceived, and whatnot. Either by Bobby or his landlord, or both together. Bobby insists his landlord knew, and Bobby insisted even from the beginning, even when he was telling me what his landlord had said. He'd had a roommate before. She'd had a dog. He had 2 dogs. Saying, this is a dog. He was going to let me have my mom's dog. He would have had 3 dogs there. Obviously, he can do this shit, or he wouldn't have done it because his landlord's going to see him doing it. You know what I mean? I was so fucked in all of this. Now I'm left homeless. But not destitute, just homeless. Marion left that mayonnaise smeared all over it. She didn't even care, because my mom can live in filth and Marion won't care. I care. I clean my mom's place all the time when I was living here. I care. Marion doesn't give a shit. Marion pretends to care. But I thought Bobby cared about me. And Joe's like, you know what, Bobby must be the type where he'll pretend that he's a good person, but when push comes to shove, he'll sell you down the river. left me at the mercy of evil that would make a complete and utter lies about me. I had to pull down it was so embarrassing. Those movers were so fucking cool. I guess they handle all of Massachusetts or something. I don't know. They're called Toms. They were so cool. They were cool even with me pissing on like, you know, cops came in, the cops came in. They're like, well, you were kind of, I wasn't that far in the woods. If I could see those cars, they could see me. You know, I couldn't go any further in. I got cut. I was getting cut from the briars. At first I went in and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm too close to the road. Jesus Christ, you know. And then I went in a little further. I decided to bloody myself. To, you know, it was that or pee in my pants. And I'm joking with the movers. I'm like, you guys are lucky, you guys. You don't have to do this. And they're like, this reminds me of my college days. Because in the college days, there's paths, there's this, there's that. There's not you getting all bloody, pushing through briars and everything so you're not too close to the road while you're pulling down your pants to piss. You know, they were so cool. They deserved 50 extra bucks just for being cool, it's okay, you know. I'm like, you guys are lucky, you know, I'm a woman, and he's like, well, it's easy for you if you have a skirt on, but I didn't. I had these stretchy pants on, you know. I had to pull down my pants and underwear, and know what he said? Like I said, they each got 25 extra from me. They wouldn't even have made me give it to them, but I wanted to anyway. And maybe you're supposed to tip movers. I don't know. They were nice. I don't know if you're supposed to tip movers, but in any case, I wouldn't have tipped them. I didn't have money. I was supposed to pay on my credit card, and then I wound up not paying on my credit card because the guy was going to call me back later, and I didn't know if I was going to be sitting in a bar where I would be. And I'm like, why don't you just drive me to Stop and Shop? I walked to Stop and Shop. It's less than a couple miles. And the guys, but I know they were running for their next thing. But when I talked to the boss, I'm like, can they do that? I mean, I'd rather pay you cash. My credit card is a debit card. It's not a regular credit. It's like, they'll do whatever I tell them to do, and cool as fucking hell. I'll give them a great review. I just will leave out the fact that I had to piss like an animal inside of the road and bloody my leg and bloody my, my arm and welts and go through, the briars. It could have been worse, though, My cousin told me a story before. She said she was on the highway or something, but it had to be somewhere where there was woods, just like here. So it wasn't a highway where you can't get off where you go, But she had to she had to poo-poo. She had to take a shit. And she told me this story. I guess she told me she didn't tell anyone. It was just, she happened to be talking to me after it happened. She's like, there was no way I could make it home. So our bodies betray us. That's what I told this guy. So I'm like, well, my cousin told me a long time ago, she had to take a shit and do what I just did peeing, so it could have been worse. It could have been, because if you can't hold it, you can't hold it. I was going to make my shake, and I ran out of time. If I made my shake, and we were stuck in traffic all the time, I might have had to do what my cousin did. And that's even more humiliating than pee-peeing, But at first, where I was, I'm like, fuck, I'm too close to the road. There's all briars. What am I supposed to do? And I just pushed at them and got, had a little pain for a little more privacy. The drivers were so cool. When I realized there was no way, I realized where we were, it was like 15 minutes to my mom's house. I'm like, I'm not going to make it. I've been holding it now, and now it's at the point of no return where I either have to go on the side of the road or pee my pants. But I wanted to find a rest. I wanted them to pull off at an exit, and I'm saying, when's the next exit? And they're like, it doesn't look like it's for a while. I'm like, I have to go. I'm going to pee my pants. They pulled on the side of the road, and the one guy said, that's dangerous. She's going to go in the, yeah. You're right, it's dangerous. I could have got hurt. I could have anything, but how humiliating if I peed in my pants, And these guys were so fucking cool with me. I was joking. I'm like, our bodies betray us. And I'm like, it's not like my college days when I was drinking and I couldn't hold it. It was the milk and the water I had, and I went twice, but it wasn't enough because now it's like an hour and a half or a little more later, and we took too long to get here, and we're not there yet. When Bobby picked me up, it only took us to get home like an hour, a little over an hour. This was taking longer because of traffic, and my body betrayed me, and I had to pee. It's horrible. But it could have been worse. The movers were cool as hell. Just the fact that I was able to go with them was cool as hell. I never imagined they'd let me. And then I was supposed to sit in the middle where you have to spread your legs entire time. They first were going to have me do that. And then the guy was nice. He's like, you know what, I'll sit in the middle and you can be comfortable in that chair. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Because when I said, that's the middle where I'm supposed to sit, that's, oh my God. And he was a gentleman. He deserves the extra 25 just for being a gentleman, for letting me sit comfortably and cry. Because, I was crying, and I kept trying to reach Cheryl, and I thought it was Friday, and that I'd have to wait the whole weekend. I wanted to tell her about that constable bringing me that bullshit letter, and I called her, and she was in meetings all day. I'm going there today. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to explain that I just was frazzled, that I'm in a state of shock, that I'm finally out of there, and then I broke down, and they were cool. So I told them, I'm like, I left message for Joe, I left message for Michael. I couldn't reach my mom. I was panicking. Turns out her cell phone, she's done this before with the ringers off, or it wasn't working, and I'm like, can you imagine, I'm on my way here with all my stuff. I don't know if maybe something happened and Marion's going to be there and say, you know what I mean? It was horrible, and I called my mom like 50 times, and I'm panicking, and I'm in there, and in the truck with them and panicking, and then I left message for Joe. I told them ahead of time, like, I'm going to call somebody, and I have to, because I couldn't reach her all day. I was trying. I said, I don't care if you hear, because I'm innocent in all of this. I don't care if you hear. And then we're here, and my mom, she has no censorship, and she starts saying about things that are telling them, if they're listening, because they're bringing my stuff into my bedroom, my former bedroom, the back room, and they're hearing, and I'm saying, and she's saying stuff right out loud with them here about Marion says that you left the crock pot on for a week and blah blah blah, whatever. And I'm like, this is really not the time and place to be bringing this up, but I got upset. I'm like, Mom, I didn't do that. You're the one. I saved your house probably from potentially burning down. I'm so tired of being talked about. I'm so tired of living in existence where I have to say, well, things could have been worse. Yeah. If he had called the cops on me on a night that I'd gone to the movies and had been drinking, if he, anything, I would have. Can you imagine if I hadn't done anything that he'd said, and he had taken me away, and poor Omar, they, 4 of them, not he. Remember, when they think you're crazy, they don't. There's not just one that comes. There's 4 came. They wanted, just like 4 comes with my mom. I've seen it repeatedly. It must be a standard thing. If it's a potential sectioning or whatnot, they don't know if you're violent, and they have 4 cops. It's all a lie. I didn't do anything that he said I did. Only thing I did was tell the truth about them out on YouTube, and I certainly didn't, threaten them in any way. Just pissed off, with the damn heat thing about him saying I could just write whenever I want, all this crap, and I didn't think it was true, and in the end, who knows what's true. I get all this from online lawyers, but then his lawyer, the landlord's lawyer, and the landlord, and the cops all side with the landlord that I'm a mere scum, that I'm just a trespasser. You know, I pay rent for 4 months, and I'm a fucking scum trespasser, and that's how I'm treated. I'm supposed to just... Wish I could just find my jewelry. My mom's like, I'll buy you more jewelry for your birthday or something. I don't want you to buy me more jewelry. You can't replace the thing I bought at the Indian reservation. That was one of a kind. You know, it's like, I want my jewelry. Ow, ow, fuck. The other day when Cheryl says, do you want to, go into the hospital? I'm like, I can't go in the hospital. I have all my stuff here and I have Omar anyway. I can't go in the hospital, And if she asks me again, I'm going to say, don't you know me? You don't know me as well as you think you do, Cheryl. I'm not going in the hospital. I'm going to a fucking bar where I can be, briefly just normal or, just listen to music, maybe karaoke or something. Do you know I almost hurt myself? Can you imagine? I almost hurt myself. That goddamn bureau that, Bobby had there. The mirror wasn't attached. It was just on top, and I didn't realize a really heavy mirror. I can just imagine the people are on their way to get my stuff, and I get rushed to the hospital. Then what would have happened? I don't know. I don't know, because it almost did. Or if I fell down the stairs, or if the other night, remember they're hostile towards me next door. If I fell over that potting thing, you think I would want to cry out or whatnot when I fear that he's just going to make up another story and call the cops on me? So yeah, things could have been a lot worse, but it doesn't matter because it was worse enough. It was bad enough, I figure this video might be a good time to... Anyway, my mom told Marion, and I said, don't ask her, tell her. Say, and I said, be honest with her. Say, Laura's staying just for tonight. She's going to meet with Cheryl tomorrow, then she's going to a shelter. She's going to stay in a shelter until she can find a new place to live. Okay? Let me stress over and over, I have thousands of dollars in the bank. I'm not destitute, okay? But I'm not going to stay in a fucking, rooms. First of all, I don't want to be in a room. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be in some sleazy room. I'm not going to pay $100 a night for a room or whatnot, I'm not going to do that. May 22nd, 2014, to Laura, by hand by constable, regarding potential trespass against you, dear Miss last name. Remember, numerous online lawyers contradicted what he says in here. They said he has to go through the courts to evict you. He cannot treat you like a trespasser when you were living there for 4 months and paying rent to his tenant, okay? In the end, I felt terrified. He lies about me. Of course I'm not going to be there. I was like a sitting duck, even no. Dear Miss P, maybe I'll put the camera over there. You notice I don't even care if my mom knows I'm recording videos anymore. I don't fucking care. My life goes to nightmare. My aunt lies about me and I have to keep telling my mom, Marion is lying. You're the one that almost burned your house down. You're the one who was leaving with the stove on, not me. I didn't leave the crock pot on. All I didn't destroy your house. All I did was leave notes for Marion that were true. I have every right. That doesn't equate to that I destroyed your house. You just did it. And I was calling Cheryl every day and crying about it, okay? What new thing you had done to your house to make it worse. Dear Miss P, I am the owner of the premises where you are residing without legal right and where I live in the adjoining apartment with my family. As I understand the situation, without my permission or knowledge, that's not true. Without my permission or knowledge, it's a lie. He lived right next door. He saw me every day. He introduced himself to me after I'd moved in. Oh, you must be Bobby's new roommate. I'm the landlord. If you need anything, just ask. And we had chatted. We chatted about how in the wintertime there was a basketball out there, and I'm like, Omar has peed on your basketball, but, before I could stop him, and the landlord joked, was like, oh yeah, he's not the only one. I'm sure other people have peed on that basketball. You know what I mean? He knew who I was. He's lying. As I understand the situation, without my permission or knowledge, you were permitted by my tenant to bunk down, you notice the wording, in the apartment on blah 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 road. It is my position that you are in the eyes of the law a trespasser without legal right, not according to numerous online lawyers. It does not matter if you paid rent to the tenant. The tenant had no legal right to allow you on the premises due to the terms of his previous lease. The previous lease Bobby had with his wife, and when his wife and stepdaughter were there. This was the first I'd heard of this previous lease or whatnot. When I first started talking to online lawyers, and I thought Bobby said he's a tenant at will. I still believe that because, as he said, even if this is what he's going to go on to say, even though the lease ended its term, and then there was a new thing where there was no lease because now there's not two people there, there's only Bobby, okay? And he can't afford the rent, okay? Can't afford the rent. Not just him that told me that, not just Bobby that told me that, his good friend told me that when she was trying to convince me to move in with them, okay? I was apprehensive, as you guys know, because he was a guy, but I was desperate, But I wasn't his girlfriend. I'm not his, you know what I mean? I lived there. I paid rent. He responded to my Craigslist ad. It does not matter if you paid rent to the tenant. The tenant had no legal right to allow you on the premises due to the terms of his previous lease, the terms of which still apply even after it expires at the end of its term, and the terms of which prohibit him having any subtenant or unauthorized person residing on the premises. This is the advice of my counsel. According to online lawyers, it didn't matter. He knew I was there, and they said the bottom line is he had no right to do all the shit he did to me because a judge has to decide. He still had to go to the courts to evict me if there's question on whether I'm a tenant or not. But no, he plays dirty. He's going to lie through his teeth to get me the fuck out of there and terrorize me, and that was it. I'm out of there because I was scared. And it's not that I was scared he would physically hurt me. I wasn't scared he was going to hurt me. I was afraid he was going to call the cops and make up some bogus story again. He threatened to do it in this letter. Okay? This is the advice of my counsel. And then he lies through his teeth in the next sentence, the next paragraph, because I got it. I called Bobby, and the second I got this, I called him. And I told him, and he actually answered the phone. A lot of times he doesn't, okay? He hasn't, and I thought he was just purposely not answering the phone. But in any case, he answered it. And I told him, and he's like, no. He's like, that's not true, okay? So if it ever came up in court, it could be proven all this crap. And he can't prove. I don't care if there's 20 people that you have in your pocket lying about me. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. Here we go. Although it has no bearing on my legal rights regarding your illegal occupancy, again, the online lawyer said it didn't even matter because they said even if the tenant broke the terms of his lease, you were paying rent, you thought it was your home. He's like, it has to go through the courts. He cannot just have the police throw you out on your ass, okay? But it doesn't matter, because remember, they were telling me you need to call the landlord or attorney a tenant, but you shouldn't move out. You should stay there. We can't really. No, I can't stay there another night. Especially after I got this, but I wasn't planning. I was going to get the fuck out of there. Can you imagine how I was feeling in that 2-story? Although it has no bearing on my legal rights regarding your illegal occupancy, it is noteworthy that I have received only partial rent for April. Oh, he says bullshit. No rent for May. He says I have the cancel check, Laura, and June rent will be due very soon. Therefore, your continued illegal occupancy presents a severe financial hardship to me and my family. In addition, you have posted extremely hostile and profane videos on the internet in which you articulate a venomous hatred for me and my wife. Also, yeah, I was pissed off at your whatever tactics you call it. What do you call that when you're paying $1,600 a month rent to people who are going to watch for the thermostat to turn on, and it's 58, and you don't even have it on high. You don't even have it on your what you find out from your friend is legally what you can have it on. It's 58 degrees, and you find out not only did your roommate get that call and had to defend himself. Look, Samantha, it's set to 58 degrees, and I said, did she accept that? He's like, no, and then later he lied and said, no, it was 70 degrees outside that day. No, it wasn't. We had cold days here in Massachusetts. Even the cop agreed with me with that, okay? So venomous hatred, whatever. I was pissed off. So like, you know, whatever. Venomous hatred, yeah. When did I post these videos? When you started treating me like scum and lying to me and telling me he's not supposed, coming over and telling me he's not supposed to have a roommate or a dog or anything. And meanwhile, he had another roommate, another dog. I threw out when I found out about it. Yeah, not according to his friend, not according to him. You know, I was lied to him, misled and deceived. What do you expect me how do you expect me to feel? I'm being treated like scum. I paid $600 a month every month for rent. I thought it was my home. And you're treating me like scum and acting like you didn't know I was there when you introduced yourself to me. How do you expect me to react? This is my self-expression forum, okay? I express, quote, venomous hatred, unquote, legitimately so towards Marion. But am I any threat to Marion? No, I'm not a threat to anybody, you know? Ridiculous. Anyway. In addition, you have posted extremely hostile and profane videos on the internet in which you articulated venomous hatred for me and my wife. And here's total lies. Remember, I did post videos, but, you know, he can interpret them any way he wants. I didn't lie in the videos, you know. Also, members of my family, and at least one unrelated witness who was a guest in my home, observed you peering into the windows of my adjoining apartment, spying on my daughter while she nursed her infant. This is a total fucking lie. The next thing is, this is what he did to me that Wednesday night, Thursday night rather. Last night, I don't know if he has the dates right here. He had to have done this the next day, right? I don't know, even if he isn't. It's all lies anyway, even with the dates wrong, because in the end he says, this was last week that he drew this up. When does it get handed to me? Last week it gets drawn up, and it says you need to be out, he wanted me out by Tuesday, just in a couple days. He wanted me to just like that, just be gone, like I'm a scum, like I'm nothing. Okay? But in the end, they didn't hand this to me until they waited. The police had told me I had to the end of the month. He didn't want to give me the end of the month. He wanted me out of there. But they didn't do that. The constable didn't hand this to me until 2 days ago. Okay? And then I got out the very next day because I want to get out of there anyway. And whether or not I can sue, well, you know, more often than not, justice does not win out in this life. We all know that. Of course, Joe's adamant, you can do this, Laura. Go after those motherfuckers, you know, for what they did to you, both of them, both your former roommate and his evil landlord, you know. But in the end, it probably won't come out to my favor, you know, because nothing ever does. Last night, you caused a disturbance to wit. All lies. Loudly banging on the common wall between apartments and shouting unintelligibly. Lies. which required me to summon the police to check on your well-being and the well-being of my family members, including young children. The sum of these events is that you present a threat to my security and to that of my family, adding to the urgency of your ending your illegal occupancy. Oh, and now look, check this out. Now, you notice he says all these lies about me. Now he's going to pretend that he cares, pretend that he's concerned about me. It's such bullshit. It's like Marion pretending she's so concerned about my mother. All she cares about is the fucking money. She couldn't even clean the goddamn mayonnaise off the thing. My mom would never clean it. It would be there, like there forever, for years, you know. I mentioned it, and I got the shelf off. Oh, how'd you do that? I couldn't even do that, you know. My mom's mentally ill. You should have made sure her home was spotless, like I always did, Marion. Made sure she came home to a spotless house. That's what you should have done. You could have paid people to clean it, you know. But no, you do a half-assed job, and you leave the refrigerator filthy, and the dishwasher's filthy, and here we go. Now he's going to pretend he's concerned for me. It's all bullshit. From observing your videos, I take it that you have no place to go. While I sympathize with your dilemma, you are not permitted to burden me and my family as a means of solving that problem, especially in view of your odd and threatening behavior. Again, I have to say, how come he had no complaints about me for the first, how long I was there, first 3 months, 3.5 months, whatever, but at the very end I'm suddenly turning into some just psychopath or something, some crazy, you know what I mean? It's all bullshit. I have enclosed here with a detailed list of homeless shelters in the surrounding area. He didn't enclose anything. I am sure that these shelters are equipped with the means and methods to assist you in your current situation. I would suggest that you immediately begin calling them, finding a place to temporarily reside, perhaps find assistance locating a longer-term residence. Remember, all I ever wanted was the legal time, and Bobby wanted that too, or he wanted it for me, because he was saying up to the last minute he didn't know if he was going to move in with his girlfriend or not. You know what I mean? So hand was forced, and you know, it might not work out, and if it doesn't work out, he deserves it. It's karma, you know. Because all along I was saying, your landlord doesn't have a legal leg to stand on. I have a right to be here, blah, blah. And in the end, Bobby was still going to cave into his landlord. And then he's like, he'll take me to court, Laura. And I had him a letter. I'm like, Bobby, I could take you to court for a lot more than your landlord would get, you know, for all this distress, trauma I've been through, you know. I'm disabled. Psychologically, you know, this is trauma. He didn't enclose anything, by the way. I have enclosed here with a detailed list of homeless shelters in the surrounding area. Nothing was enclosed. Blah, blah. I'm sure that these shelters are equipped with the means and methods to assist you in your current situation. I would suggest you immediately call him, blah, 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 because he didn't want to give me any time, even to, you know, get my stuff out of there, anything. He didn't want to give me any time, and all the lawyers online were saying he had to. Yeah, tell that to the cops. He calls, and they believe him, you know. Obviously, they didn't just throw me out that night because there was a question about it, but they believe him when he drums up these phony charges, and who knows what he's going to do next. I was a sitting duck there, a sitting duck, okay? Didn't matter what online lawyers said to me. I was a sitting duck, and I needed to get the fuck out of there. That was more important than anything, you know? And I needed to get Omar to safety. Couldn't do anything with Omar there. I would suggest that you immediately be calling them, finding a place to temporarily reside, perhaps find assistance locating a long-term residence, access other assistance that they might have available for you. I would suggest that reaching out to these people for assistance would be better use of your time than making hours of videos about the situation you were in. Yeah, I was making a lot of videos in the very beginning when I was positive he couldn't just throw me out, that I lived there, that he had to treat me like a tenant. I was getting that from online lawyers and from Joe and Cheryl and Trebles, and you know what I mean? So of course I'm going to think that. They were positive. Remember, this is dated May 22nd, 2014, but it wasn't delivered to me until 2 days ago. Today's Friday. It was delivered to me Wednesday. He wanted me out immediately. Immediately. If you fail to vacate by Tuesday, I will be forced. See, he couldn't even give me the measly to the end of the month. The measly fucking 8 days. He wanted me out immediately. Unbelievable. I'm just treated like scum. Oh, Bobby betrayed me. If you, at the very least, Bobby didn't shut the internet off on me. But that would have been biting a nose to spite his face or whatever, because without the internet, he knows that what would I do? You know, have even more difficult time getting out of there and finding, finding a storage unit or whatnot, because there's only a chance my mom was getting out. So I'll just fucking... If you failed, you know what I mean? So at least Bobby didn't shut the internet off on me. My friend thought he would, but he didn't. But that doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. And since I paid for all the toilet paper and all the whatnot, I took it. I took it. Took the soap, took the dishwashing liquids, all stuff I bought. Even the one that was right there to be used, I took it just to spite them, because they treated me like total scum. Didn't even communicate with me when they're packing up stuff that he knows that I have a stock pot and I have containers. Why not do that last? Containers and whatnot. I'm sure your girlfriend has, your fiance, whatnot, has tons of pots and pans and containers. You know? Why don't you do that last and say, we're coming back Sunday, Laura, why don't you go through, treat me like a human being instead of scum, Bobby. You were my friend. Even the end, and then he didn't even look for it. They were there Friday, and they didn't pack up that much stuff, or, you know what I mean? And I'm like, they're coming back, and I told him, you took my stock pot, oh, I'll look for it or whatnot. He didn't bother, and when I asked him about it, oh, well, I couldn't find it, I'll buy you another one. No, you won't, you fucking prick, I'm never going to see you again, you won't buy me another one. It's just insult to injury. It's just, they treated me like such scum. In the end, I'm trying to reach him to tell him personally about this friggin' constable letter filled with lies. I couldn't talk to him. I typed it up and emailed it to him, and she answers his phone and acting like, what does this have to do with him? He moved out, Laura. What does it have to do with him, you fucking bitch? He's the one who got me into this mess. I'll read you a trouble road. She said it succinctly. He's the one that got me into this mess. It has everything to do with him. My God. If you fail to vacate by Tuesday, I will be forced to instruct my attorney to take the described legal action against you as a trespasser. I don't know what that means. Would that have mean he had to go to the courts to evict me? I don't know. Not if he's going to call me a trespasser and get away with it, That's why the online lawyers, you need to talk to a online landlord attorney immediately. I can't even breathe in this apartment. They know if I turn the heat on, I left it cold, and to this morning it was 56. Thursday morning, it might be after midnight, yeah, but anyway, Thursday morning, it was literally 56 degrees in that house, because it hasn't been very warm. It gets a little bit warm, then it gets real cold at night, and it just kept plummeting. I never turned it on this whole time that Bobby moved out and whatnot. All this shit went down, and it got colder and colder, 56 degrees. I wasn't going to touch it and draw attention to myself, but I'm just saying, Online, they're like, you need to stay there. He has to go to the court, through the courts, to evict you. It's my understanding. You get to have the 30 days. I'll go crazy if I get to have the 30 days. I wanted them to just leave me alone and let me have the fucking 8. Couldn't even do that. No. If you fail to vacate by Tuesday, I will be forced to instruct my attorney to take the described legal action against you as a trespasser. Here's the nitty gritty. He nailed it. He drilled it into me. You think I was going to stay there? It's a thread, an unveiled thread. I can call the police on you anytime I want to, and they will listen to me because they believe you're a trespasser just like I do. They're going to believe every word I say, Laura, so get the fuck out of my house now. That's what he's implying, okay? If you cause any disturbance in the meantime, I will be forced to call the police and seek to have you arrested for stalking, harassment, and or disturbing the peace. I wonder why I was crying today with the movers. They were cool. No, they didn't. They said, is there anything we could do? I'm like, no. I'm like, I feared that they're going to just like, and I even joke with them, like, I don't want you to just kick me out of your car, I'm so happy I could get a ride with you with my stuff, and I can't believe this. I'm such an honest person, and I couldn't even fathom doing this to somebody. I wouldn't even be able to. And in the end, I don't believe justice will prevail. Online lawyers said as much. Hey, no one's going to take that on a contingency basis. Whatever. I was traumatized by this ordeal. I'm disabled. I'm all this crap. I'm homeless now. And couldn't even have ample time. That's all I wanted. I think I was asking for the goddamn world. I just wanted what anybody would want in that situation. Ample time to find a new place to live. I wanted. Anyway, you see why I couldn't stay there another second. Despite what the online lawyers were saying, call a landlord attorney, and they probably would have, I probably could have instantly had proof that I could stay there, but I'm not going to stay there because, proof or not, he still can call the cops on me whenever he wants. He's hostile. He'd be like, Cheryl said, you have to get out of there. You don't know what he'll do to you. I don't think he'll physically hurt you, but, I'm living in fear of what, I don't think he'll physically hurt you, but he'll make your life miserable. I know. They're all alone. It's not like I wasn't there all alone. Alone. Every noise made me jump. Every siren made me jump. When that constable knocked on the door, for all I know, the landlord had called the cops on me and bogus charge again, this time in secret, and there were going to be cops at my door. I take a shower and not know if cops are going to knock on the door while I'm butt-ass naked, and then if I don't answer, they're going to barge in. I don't trust anything. I know what happens in this world. I'm not stupid. I know what cops do to people when no one's looking, when no one can. If you fail to vacate by Tuesday, I'll be forced to instruct my attorney to take the described legal act against you as a trespasser. If you cause any disturbance in the meantime, I will be forced to call the police and seek to have you arrested for stalking, harassment, and or disturbing the peace. I have enclosed herewith for your information the Massachusetts general laws regarding criminal harassment and stalking. He didn't enclose anything, but I didn't engage in any of those activities. Any human being that can so easily tell all these lies about another human being is a danger. You know what I mean? He was dangerous towards me. In what way? I don't know, but I was living in total fear every fucking day, okay? Even before I got this, I was living in fear, and then I got this. Oh my God, I'm like, I can't believe the extent he got his family members involved in the lies. I gotta get the fuck out of here. And I still had to stay that night. I spent all night contacting Craigslist people and whatnot because I'm not getting any responses from my ads. Any legitimate, just good reason, you know what I mean? I didn't even check them yesterday, but slim pickings, like, for men, just, sleazes. One guy said, I have a house deep in the woods. You can come and do my editing, and I'll make it worth your while. I wrote to Trouble, but she couldn't get it. I couldn't forward it. It was like from my other email that I don't like that I did just for Craigslist. And did you get it? No. I might have accidentally sent it back to him. Fucking stupid. And anyway, it said, yeah, and Laura, and the psycho chops Laura into pieces. Like, I have a house deep in the woods, and you can come and do editing for me, and I'll make it worth your while. I'll take good care of you. Yeah. Oh, God. He didn't enclose anything regarding homeless information. He didn't enclose anything regarding stalking and harassment, by the way. I have enclosed herewith for your information the message general laws regarding criminal harassment and stalking. Be aware that your behavior has caused me and my family substantial emotional distress and fear of bodily injury from you, and I will not hesitate to invoke the law in the event of the slightest disturbance from you. So he's feeling this way from, he did this that Friday, I guess, right? If he called the cops on me on that Thursday, he did this on Friday. Yet I didn't get it all the way until the following Wednesday. Obviously, they weren't going to, I don't know why they didn't bother delivering it to the following Wednesday, probably because the cops had said I'd have to the end of the month, and I paid my rent to the end of the month. It's a lie what he says about May's rent. That can be subpoenaed, just like Joe says. They can subpoena the tenancy at will agreement, or they can subpoena this stuff, or, you know, he says the former lease, but then it's null and void if it ended, and but his lawyer says no, it's not null and void. I mean, it's just bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit, and in the end I have no faith that anybody's going to help me. I almost got hurt in that place when I was staying there alone with Omar. I almost got hurt more than once. Can you imagine? I got hurt. Meanwhile, he's treating me like a trespasser. He's not even supposed to be able to do that according to the lawyers, but he probably would have. Who knows what he would have done to my stuff? Who knows what would have happened to Omar? I mean, this is just, it could have been so much worse, and I didn't do anything wrong. Marion didn't clean my mom's. She didn't shut it off either, so my mom had to throw away all kinds of crap that was old in there. Instead of shutting it off, see, what Marion didn't feel like cleaning it, so instead of, and if she had shut, you know, she, I don't know, she can say, oh, because you had food in there, she didn't know my mom would be out, and that is true, but I don't know, you still could have scrubbed the goddamn mayonnaise off the shop, and I had my mom come 3.5 months later, and it's hardened like a rock on there. I'm going to stick it in the shower and let hot water pound on it. Do you think that will loosen it up? It just upsets me. I don't want my mom... It's one thing if she lets her house get filthy again, but at least I had cleaned it spotless, and then she destroyed it, and if I, you know... I just wish she could start over and have it start off clean. The dishwasher's filthy too. I don't even think it's going to work. The plumber was here that morning, I think, he said, I didn't know who was coming. I'm like, she called you? Like, she was taken away. She was sectioned yesterday. I'm leaving. My new roommate's on his way to get me. Remember, I knew this plumber. He's come here more than once now. At this point, I'm going to tell him the truth. I'm going to tell everyone the truth. Oh, and that thing where I sent, first Marion's saying that I sent letters to everyone in the park. That's what my mom said. Then she's saying, oh, she only sent it to people you knew. Okay? And then it's just, oh, it's just that one letter and she's not going to give it back. Yeah, that was the letter that I gave to the woman who was supposed to be someone, my friend, that I could trust. It was one letter, and it was before my mother got sick. See how it goes from, you see how Marion fucks with my mom's mind? Goes from everyone in the park to, oh, just the people you knew. Oh, and then my mom says, well, show me that. Oh, well, it was just one. See what Marion does? And now she's saying that I left the crock pot on and she returned from, because she knows my mom's all confused. So she fucks with my mom's mind, and I can't take it either. I'm going to lose my own mind. I can't take this where, you know, I know the truth. Marion doesn't want to hear the truth. Latest thing my mom said to me just earlier, like, What are you talking about? Marion returned from Mexico 1 day after you got sectioned. 1 day. There was no crockpot left on for a week. She saw this house within a couple of days. And there was no crockpot left on because I was obsessed with making sure I shut everything off. Remember, I gave them a tour when they came over, and I gave your social worker and Cheryl a tour. One of the things I showed them was the crock pot. I'm sure even if I was out of it and didn't notice that it was still on, they sure as fuck would have. Marion's lying. She's lying so that I can never come in your house again, so I can't visit you, so I can't live here. Not that I want to live here, but there's no restraining order against me. She told him, she's like, you're going to wind up, Marion said to my mom, you're going to wind up in the hospital again. Don't say that, blah, blah. And then she's like, you're going to be thrown out of there if you have Laura there, I would never come back here and live. I was trying to get out of here before my mom had her final, breakdown that wound up her being in the hospital for 3.5 months. But I'm not going to sit here like a good little girl and be silent about anything. About what my family, what Marion lies through her teeth and fucks with my mother's fragile state of mind. Or about this landlord and my former roommate who up until that point had been so good to me. But I'd been so good to him. It was an equal thing. I'm not going to be silent. All I have is my ability to communicate. That's all I have. What else do I have? My mind, my intelligence, my ability to write and communicate my thoughts and feelings in a succinct manner. But that's powerful. Pen is mightier than the sword. That's what a lot of people believe anyway. Pen's mightier than the sword. I should go through my stuff, see if I can find that thank you card that I got for Cheryl. I could apologize for, I don't know if that was her calling me. If she said she would never call me on her but maybe because I said it was an emergency, she called me on her regular phone. I don't know. She usually only can have me deal with her on the work phone, but someone called me. I'll have to find out from her today if that was her. I was anxious to talk to her. I thought it was Friday yesterday. I was like, I can't wait the whole week, and I gotta tell Cheryl what happened about this bullshit, bogus, filled with lies. I can't take this. You wonder why I want to go into a shelter even though I could afford to rent a room? I don't want to be alone. Even though I'm not going to talk, I'm just going to pretend I'm creative. I'm not going to let them say whatever they want. I'd still be around people. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be in a room all alone. Not even. I want to be in a room all alone. That's why I want to go to a bar. At least I won't be alone. I can listen to music or watch karaoke. I don't want to be alone. I was alone in that stupid place. I had Omar, but I was alone all over a week. And plus, Bobby was working and going to his girlfriend's, whatever he was doing. It was more than a week I was there alone. But up until all the shit went down, I had Max. I had the Collie Shepherd that was not going to let anybody hurt me, Barks at the slightest noise, and he'll be protective. Then he was gone, and I was all alone for a week. Omar can't protect me. thinks he's a tough guy, and someone doesn't even need a weapon with Omar. You just kick him hard enough and that's it, he's dead. But not a collie shepherd, he can jump after your jugular or something, You'd need a gun or a knife to fight Max. I wish I'd gotten a picture of Max. I didn't. I did get a picture of Bobby with Omar. They were sleeping, they're so cute. Omar would go up in his chair. I thought Bobby was a good guy. I thought he was one of the good ones. I was starting to feel more relaxed, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't trust any man, and this man's treating me so consistently nice, kind. And he left me at the mercy of evil and just callous, cold, like I'm scum, like I'm nothing. I thought he was my friend. I thought you were my friend, Bobby. I never thought you would have done me and this to me. I thought you cared. I thought you were one of the good ones.